questions in my email and my direct message about grief. And a lot of the questions are worded like, how do I push through the grief? Or how do I move forward past the grief? And a lot of people, what they're wondering is, how do I move beyond this feeling that I'm feeling? How do I get through this is the question that keeps coming up. And here's what I want to say about that. And it's based off of my experience and what I've learned about grief and grieving and sadness. And I've learned that you can't. The only thing that you can do with grief is sit in it until you're ready to move forward from it. And that may not be what you want to hear, because the thing about grief is that it's hard and it's uncomfortable and we don't like it. And we just want to get out of it and move on and be done with it, right? Because we don't like feeling sad and we don't like being uncomfortable and we don't like the pain that comes with grief. And so we ask those questions. How do I get out of here? How do I get past this and beyond it? When is it going to be over? And there really isn't an answer for it, because everybody's experience with grief is different. And there's no timeline that's right for everyone. And my timeline for grief is going to be different than your timeline for grief. That's going to be different than the next person's timeline for grief. And you just have to sit with your feelings and your emotions and know that grief doesn't last forever. And what happens with grief is that eventually it lessens. And it's not that it goes away, in my experience. It's not that you ever forget what you're grieving, or if you're grieving a person that you lost, like in the example of my grandfather. I don't forget my grandfather. It's not that I've forgotten him or that I've ever stopped being sad, even after 6 years that he's not here anymore. But the pain of his death has lessened, and I'm not as sad about his loss anymore. And so I think that we find a way to move forward, and that looks different for everybody. And so just know that if you are grieving right now, and if you are in a season of sadness or loss or discomfort, you won't be there forever. It won't be as bad as it feels right now. And there's no really good answer for your question of how long am I going to be here? How long am I going to feel this way? Because nobody knows that except for you. And even you don't know that, because you won't know until you know. And you'll know when you're going to start moving forward from that, when you start to feel like it's not as bad as it was the day before or the week before. Or one day you'll realize life feels a little bit brighter and a little bit happier, and your mood is starting to get a little bit better. And so just know that you have support here if you are the parent of a transgender child who is in a season of sadness or grief or whatever hard feelings you're feeling right now. This is a safe place for you to share them, and you won't feel those feelings forever. And I can tell you that because I've been where you are, and I'm on the other side of those really hard feelings. And if you need an ear to listen to you, you can always feel free to send me a direct message or an email, and I would be happy to be a listening ear for you. So I hope that you are having a good day, and I will chat with you again more next week. Okay, bye.